G'day OWFsquad, welcome back to another trip report on Thursday. Today I'm flying Jetstar A320 economy class from Adelaide to Darwin. It's going to be my longest domestic flight in Australia ever. The flight time is approximately 3.5 hours up to the North Darwin in Northern Territory, and it's the closest point I can get to between myself and my home Hong Kong. I can't travel internationally right now, unfortunately, but at least I can still fly around Australia. Without further ado, now let's go inside and check in. Now I just want to show you how weird and quiet this place is. It's now 5 in the morning, and normally this place you'll see lots of people trying to get into the terminal to catch their 6 a.m. flights to the east coast. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, South Australia suffered a statewide lockdown thanks to a lying pizza guy. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just Google SA lockdown pizza guy. As a result of the lockdown, a lot of states and territories within Australia shut their borders to us. Today, as of filming, only New South Wales, Northern Territory, Victoria and the ACT are open to us. You can see that on the flight display board. My flight to Darwin is going to be the first flight leaving Adelaide today at 6:40. Now I'm walking through the Qantas check-in. There's absolutely nobody. So I'm now at the Jetstar check-in. You'll have to use those self-check-in kiosks. They don't have any check-in desk. Nonetheless, staff are available if you need any help. And while I was doing the check-in myself, one of them approached me and said hi. Now I'm at the second machine to check in my baggage. I've just passed through security. Now I'm inside the airside. Nothing is open except for a cafe. Damn it! So Qantas usually open their domestic lounges an hour before any of their own domestic flights, so only the Qantas medals, not the Jetstar flights like the one I'm catching to Darwin. Their first flight today is around 8 o'clock, so my flight's at 6-ish, so today I won't have access to the lounge, unfortunately. Usually I would have, because they have morning flights 6 a.m. to Sydney and Melbourne, but due to the second lockdown in Adelaide, they have cancelled a lot of flights to the east coast operated by Qantas. That's our Jetstar to Darwin today. Unfortunately, I can't get a closer shot inside the terminal due to the health screening setup. The government has now made it mandatory to wear a face mask if you're flying to and from or within South Australia. So our aircraft today is this Jetstar A320-200. It's 10 years old, Victor Hotel, Victor Golf, Oscar. So for those who didn't bring their own face mask, you can grab one here. It is free of charge. Hello. Thank you. My seat today is 29A, and if you're sitting at the back of the plane, you'll have to board through the rear door, so that the boarding process is quicker than otherwise. So here's the free face mask, and along with that you get 2 hand wipes. My window's a bit dirty and it's not good for filming, so I'm gonna wipe my window. So now let's go through the seat features. So you've got no TV, but rather you get a seat pocket right there. And then a tray table. You can move it back and forth, but you can't fold it. You get another seat pocket down there for your own personal items. The absence of your literature right there means that you get slightly more leg room than otherwise. Seat pitch here is about 29 inches. Because boarding was done through 2 doors, so the front and rear doors, and most passengers didn't have a hand carry luggage, the boarding process this morning was really quick. The last 2 rows, 30 and 31, were blocked, but otherwise it's a relatively full flight today.
On behalf of all of your team, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you all. Flying us over to Darwin today is your captain, Sean Jamison, and joining me in the flight deck is First Officer, Sean Thomas. Flying time over to Darwin today will be 3 hours and 22 minutes. A reminder that smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted on board. For passengers travelling with young children and infants, please be careful when lowering your armrest. We'll be on our way shortly, so in the meantime sit back and relax, and if there's anything we can do to assist you throughout the flight, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you and welcome aboard.
So after boarding was completed, we waited for about 15 minutes, so pushback was on time.
From above you, pull it down firmly to start a supply of oxygen. Quickly put it over your mouth and nose, and breathe normally. Keep the mask in place.
Those Virgin 737 are grounded due to the second lockdown that lasted for 3 days.
Goes in a straight line. Time doesn't change. Makes sense, right? Like, it literally goes like. Just make it above the line. Don't worry, they're just gonna put it in the matrix here.
Washing your hands with soap and water, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer and sanitizing wipes are highly effective hygiene measures and were increasingly used to coughing and sneezing into our elbows. We ask that you be particularly mindful of these practices whilst on board today. On all Jetstar flights, customers are strongly recommended to wear face masks. Flywheel packs are made available to you as you boarded the aircraft, which contain a face mask and 2 hand sanitizing wipes. Additional masks and wipes are available upon request. Please be mindful that only 2 customers are allowed in their lavatory and galleys at any time. Where possible, please maintain the distance between yourself and other customers. Please keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. In just a moment, we'll be coming through the cabin and beginning our service, starting with our pre-purchase meals, followed by our in-flight menu selection. If you'd like something to eat or drink, please have a look through the Jetstar menu in your seat pocket. For your comfort, you may use the wipes from the flywheel pads to wipe down the menu. You're welcome to pay with all major credit and debit cards with Visa or MasterCard symbol. And if you use a Jetstar MasterCard, you will receive 10% off. Jetstar does not currently have cashless payments available, so please have your physical card ready. Alcoholic beverages are limited to the only ones that are served on board today. Thank you.
Officer Sean Thomas, and looking after you in the cabin there, Amelia and her team. Should be a fairly pleasant flight through the Darwin. Some lovely views out there this morning. We're just getting to the top of the St. Gulf there, and our track taking us up past Lake Creek today, just a little bit to the east of Coomera, and from there we'll be tracking to the east of Alice Springs, pretty close to Tennant Creek, Catherine into Darwin. Making a very good time today, and so we should see us on present indications about 10 minutes ahead of schedule at 9:15 local time. Northern Territory hasn't joined us with daylight savings. They're about an hour behind us, so currently about 6 o'clock there. Weather conditions up there, it's going to be warm, but by Adelaide standards, it's going to be cooler, I'd say. Going to be about 31 degrees on arrival. Below Adelaide's highs of 39, so it'd be nice to have a good break, but there will be that inherent humidity which will make it feel like it's other than it really is. Chance of an afternoon storm later in Darwin, and I'll leave you to make yourselves comfortable there and enjoy the flight. Thank you.
Cabin crew just began the meal service. From my observation, most people didn't bring their own food on board. Instead, they purchased food and drinks on board. A few passengers like me purchased a bundle, so we just pick anything that we want from the menu, and it's going to be free because we already prepaid for that. The service took quite a while today because really a lot of people purchase food on board, so every time someone purchases something, the passengers will have to pay through a card, and every time they do that, it takes some time because they have to find a card through their handbags, and also the cabin crew have to figure out the right amount to put into the machine. When the crew reached my row, I was so happy because I was starving, but I ordered a cheese and ham toastie. They needed 10 minutes to microwave that, so I got a cup of tea to begin with. 10 minutes later, I got my food. So for the tea, it's quite bland. There's not enough tea, I reckon. For the toastie, it's quite dry. There was a few bites where I needed some water in order to swallow it because the toastie became a rock in my mouth. However, it was actually quite tasty. A bit more cheese would be better. I was too hungry anyway, I smashed it.
Hello, welcome to Jetstar A320 Lavatory at the back of the cabin behind economy class. It's quite narrow in this lavatory, but good thing is it's actually relatively long, so when you sit down you've still got a bit of a leg room, better than what you get in the cabin itself, and most importantly you get a lovely little cook.
So for the rest of the flight, about 2 hours left, I was just taking a nap. There's no entertainment on board, it's simply bring your own. The passenger in front of me was playing his mobile phone game.
Quite low, there's no reports of any rain, so it might not get too many views as we come in. Yeah, cloud base down to about 300 metres above the ground. The wind is a light northwesterly, about 5 to 10 kilometres an hour. We made great time, probably have you at the gate there about 15 minutes ahead of schedule there. Hope you've enjoyed your journey with us. Even more importantly, have fun in Darwin, enjoy your time here, and we'll see you next time you join us. Thank you and good day.
We're soon going to land into Darwin International Airport, so let's quickly conclude my longest flight so far within Australia with Jetstar right here, right now. So the airport experience was seemingly smooth and actually quite simple. You just check in through the self-check-in machine and then move on to the self-bag drop area. Security was quick and easy. Our flight to Darwin was the first to depart, and there was not any other flight within the same time period. At the boarding gate, you can grab a free flywell pack. They're the same ones that you get on Qantas, so each one consists of a face mask and 2 hand wipes. If you want more on board, the cabin crew can offer you more. Boarding was done really quickly. Most passengers didn't have a carry-on, that's why. Our flight departed and landed on time. Once airborne, the food and drinks were a little bit disappointing, to be honest. The tea was average and the bread was also not so good. I found the Jetstar economy class seats on the A320 to be okay for a short, maybe 1 or 2 hours flight, but a flight like this one, 3.5 to Darwin, was a little bit quite intolerable and I found it hard to sleep well. Also, there's no headrest on every seat, so if you're flying on Jetstar A320 and you want to sleep, I do recommend you bringing your own neck pillow. The cabin crew on board today's flight were fine. They're quite friendly. They did take all the boxes, but not, amazing. Now finally, for your information, my ticket today was $229 one way, plus the bundle $50. I ended up paying 279 Australian dollars. So I think that's it for the conclusion today. Thank you very much for watching my Jetstar trip report to Darwin. I really hope that you enjoyed this one. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. You're missing out so much if you haven't done so. Plus click that bell button next to that subscribe button, so every time when I upload, which is every Thursday 12 PM Hong Kong time, which is 2:30 Adelaide time or 1:30 Darwin time, you'll get notified. You can also follow me, add me or subscribe to me on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, and become a member on my Patreon site and also directly through YouTube. Now I'll stop talking so you'll be able to enjoy this landing footage into Darwin International Airport, and later after disembarking I'll do the Q&A as per usual. Thanks for watching, see you there later.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our pleasure to welcome you to Darwin, where the local time is 9:07. On behalf of your crew, it's been our pleasure having you on board today. Today we'll exit using the forward left-hand drawer. Before you head off, double check that you've got everything with you and be careful opening overhead lockers just in case your luggage is moved. Remember to take your face mask and wipes, whether used or unused, off the aircraft. Once the seatbelt sign is off, where possible, please maintain the appropriate distance between yourself and other customers. If your mobile phone is within reach, you may now deselect flight mode. Just a reminder, it cannot be used on the tarmac. Any other devices must stay switched off until you're inside the terminal. Smoking is not allowed on the tarmac. Due to COVID-19, domestic travel restrictions are in place across Australia, and it is your responsibility to ensure that you are eligible to enter into Northern Territory today. The latest travel advice can be accessed via the COVID Safe app. If you have any questions regarding entry requirements, please speak to a public health official or police on arrival. This is a message from the Northern Territory Government. Anyone arriving into Northern Territory who has been to an identified hotspot in the last 14 days must undertake 14-day mandatory quarantine in an approved supervised facility at the cost of $2,500. There will be no travel exemptions given to people from hotspots. Everyone travelling to Northern Territory will need to complete a border or RAP form at an entry point. If you have found to have provided misleading information on arrival, your form could face up to a $1,100 fine for individuals and $5,000 for businesses. The border arrival forms are available online at the coronavirus.nt.gov.au. Thank you and welcome to Northern Territory.
Hello there, welcome back to Q&A. Today I'm going to do 5 questions, and let's begin with this one on Instagram. Oshi Sham, white or red wine? I prefer a sparkling white wine. Usually I would go for sparkling whenever possible, even for water. Sparkling water is nice. But I do like red wine as well. It's just not my go-to thing, unless I don't have any other option. Okay, question 2, Victoria Y Chan 1129. Why do you love aviation so much? That you also study aviation in college. It's hard to explain because planes are just so fascinating. It's like asking me, why do I like my cat so much? Oh, by the way, she's in the backyard having fun herself, so I'm not going to bring her to my video today, sadly. But yeah, I just like it so much. I can't explain. It's something that I can't explain. I just love it too much. Question 3, KTX Strophy. What food do you think is generally a safe choice for an airline meal? I think it's a good question. I always avoid chicken breast because they're horribly dry, especially, well, they're already dry, but on the plane they're even worse. I would say anything with sauce would be good, like, I don't know, like a risotto, creamy pasta, creamy rice, something like that. Never had a bad one on the plane. Fried stuff like fried noodles, the airlines either make it perfect or mess it up. It's either too dry or so good. Like, I remember having egg noodle on Etihad from Abu Dhabi to Hong Kong. That was like my favorite dish ever on an airplane, and that was in economy class. Now move on to it's still Instagram actually, but it's a DM rather. Mike's asking, what airline would you like to fly between Australia and the US? If you asked me that before COVID, I would have said Virgin Australia, but they're not an option anymore, unfortunately. Delta, definitely. I'm not sure what Delta's going to fly between Australia and the US. I think they're currently using A350, but I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing that after COVID. Before COVID, they were using 777-200 LR, and it's fascinating. I like that aircraft. Actually, let's do 6 questions today. Second last from my patron, Reef. Do you strictly do flight reviews on One World Alliance? No, I don't. Like, I've done SkyTeam, Star Alliance, and non-Alliance before. For example, I've done China Airlines, I've done Virgin Australia, I've done Singapore Airlines, I've done Lufthansa. Yeah, that's the only question he was asking. Question number 6. I have to get the audio up somewhere. So there we go.
I sent you that question a long time ago. Where did you find the opening music and closing music? So
that's a question from my patron Dan from Miami, one of my favorite cities ever. So my intro music, it's called Adria's Departures. I found it on YouTube. Right there. And let me show you that if I can. So basically I found that music while I was looking for music online, and I just YouTube searched, I don't know, background music, non-copyright, and I picked that music, and that very bit, the bit where it goes da 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 for my outro music. What's my outro music? I don't even remember. Let me go to my just randomly go to the end of the video. That one. I don't think I found that music online. I found that music on the video editing at Splice. I use that when I do the outro, like the Patreon thank you list, and also the list where it goes like, thanks for watching, subscribe now, and hit the bell button. That very video clip. For the rest, I use iMovie. But basically with Splice, you can also pick music in there. It's much better than the generic iMovie ones. They're lame. Yeah, the ones on Splice, I think the music was called To The Top or something. It's 3 words and it's TTT. It's, yeah, to the top, to the tree, I don't know. Yeah, so, well, that's it for the Q&A today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boston. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and your cabin baggage stowed until the seatbelt sign has been turned off.